Do you ever get that gut feeling about something? What if I told you that there is more to that feeling than meets the eye, or rather brain? There is actually a direct connection between our gut and our brain. A nerve called the vagus nerve carries the signals between the two. Even more astonishingly, there are molecules, typically protein molecules, that our body produces, which are able to cross that so called blood brain barrier. It is via these molecules and via the vagus nerve that the gut and the brain literally have a constant conversation with each other. If that conversation goes well, that keeps us healthy. If that conversation breaks down, we get sick. In case you didn't know, the food we eat also feeds trillions, literally trillions of microbes in our guts. And this gut microbiome has a very important role to play in our health and well being. But it is no secret that the way we currently produce food on industrial scale and with industrial methods has an impact on the environment. So, producing food better means making our environment better, and better food means better microbes in our guts. Not only do I find that connection fascinating, but it actually puts everything in perspective. In the next few minutes, I'm going to explore this direct link between personal health and well being through gut immune brain connections and planetary health and well being through food production that cares for the environment. I will think through these connections and suggest how personal health and planetary health might be tightly intertwined. I was at the launch of the UK Gut Immune Brain Axis Network earlier this week. You can see behind me the stunning scene of the Southampton Harbour, where the meeting was held. Funded by the UK's Biotechnology and Biological Sciences Research Council, BBSRC for short, this interdisciplinary research community will develop a better understanding of the gut immune brain axis. This network is a culmination of 20 years of research on this topic, research that is developing a whole new scientific field. The new network will get to the bottom of the gut brain connection by bringing together expertise from multiple different scientific disciplines. I had some fascinating conversations with some amazing researchers doing incredible things. They are all committed to improving health and well-being of people throughout their life course, from newborn infants to people in their old age. Many of these researchers are focusing on specific diseases and producing new knowledge that can help develop new therapies to treat those diseases. Now, admittedly, as a researcher of the food systems and of the environment rather than of the human body, I was a bit of an imposter in this marvelous gathering. But of course, I would like to think that food is at the core of the gut immune brain axis because what we eat fuels the communication between our gut and our brain. And this gut brain communication is what keeps us healthy. Since the gut is connected to the brain, unsurprisingly, the food we eat also influences how we think and act. Not only that, but the food we eat also prepares our body's immune system to fight diseases. As mundane as the seasonal colds and flus, all the way to serious metabolic diseases like diabetes or cancer or heart disease or even neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's or Parkinson's. So, looking after that gut immune brain axis is pretty important for health, well being, and good quality of life from childhood to old age. The gut immune brain axis was made popular by Emeron Meyer, a professor at the University of California, Los Angeles. His two books, The Mind Gut Connection, published in 2018, and The Mind Gut Immune Connection, published in 2023, really made the science of gut immune brain axis popular. Today, this science has become a game changer in the understanding of how the human body and brain, together with the help of those trillions of microbes in our gut, can help understand people's predisposition to metabolic diseases, as well as their susceptibility to infectious diseases like COVID 19. Emeron Meyer's story is fascinating. As a young man, he was a documentary filmmaker and traveled to the depths of the Amazon rainforest along Orinoco River and came across the Yanomami tribes. The Yanomami people live on the border between Brazil and Venezuela. Living in some of the remotest parts of the Amazon rainforest, these people have largely escaped urbanization and are still able to live by their indigenous traditions and primarily survive on local resources, gathering forest products, hunting, and fishing. The gut microbiome of the Yanomami people was subsequently studied by a collection of researchers from Canada and the United States. Astonishingly, they found that Yanomami gut microbiome is the most diverse microbiome reported in a human group anywhere on Earth. Also, these researchers found that the Yanomami microbiome had types of bacteria that protected the members of this community from certain diseases. In industrialized societies where we live today, we have largely lost these bacteria and sadly the protective function with them. In other words, if you are surrounded by biodiversity, like the Yanomami are in the depths of the Amazon rainforest, you have a rich gut microbiome. On the contrary, if you live in biodiversity poor environment, then your gut microbiome is also likely to be impoverished, especially if what you eat is industrially manufactured foodstuff rather than authentic natural food. So, another important dimension to the gut immune brain axis is its entanglement with, if you like, the agriculture food nutrition axis, which connects our food system all the way from the production of food on farms, its distribution to stores, its consumption on our dining tables, and its metabolism in our digestive systems. So, if we want to maintain a well functioning gut immune brain axis, we will also need a well functioning agriculture food nutrition axis. But food production in turn is entangled with another axis. Let's call it ecosystem environment earth axis. This is because food production depends on Earth's resources. It needs large amounts of fresh water, and this can put many parts of the world under significant water stress. Food production also pollutes rivers, lakes, and oceans by releasing nutrients. It also produces more than a quarter of the world's greenhouse gas emissions, meaning that food production directly contributes to climate change. Finally, food production uses enormous amounts of land. Around half of the world's habitable land is used for agriculture, and that means less habitat for nature. So, we need the agriculture food nutrition axis to put minimal pressure on the ecosystem environment earth axis if we are to look after planetary health. The launch of the UK Gut Immune Brain Axis Network is a massive opportunity for collaboration across disciplines in biological and medical sciences, as diverse as gastroenterology, microbiology, immunology, proteomics, neuroscience, and psychiatry. The pursuit of personal health, however, has to pay sufficient attention to planetary health. I'm hoping that the gut immune brain axis research will remain open to the two other axes, the agriculture food nutrition axis and the ecosystem environment earth axis. My gut feeling, pardon the pun, is that these three axes will need to revolve around each other in synchrony if we are to break new ground for healthier people and healthier planet. Perhaps our gut microbiome can never be as rich as that of the Yanomami peoples, but we can make it as diverse as possible if we are surrounded by biodiversity, if we eat a variety of vegetables, fruits, herbs, nuts, and seeds in our daily diets, and if we eat only authentic food that cares for nature and cares for our guts. Thank you.